Good.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Sommers Town Board Work Session for Thursday, September 1st, 2022. Starting here at 7:05. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here. First, when we start up, I'd like to make a motion to open up public comment. All in favor? Aye. Is there anybody here for public comments? This will be on like non-exempt items. You like to come up and state your name? Try to keep it to 3 minutes if you can. David Acker.
Stuart Finkel, 150 Pine Ridge Road, Sommers. And maybe we just have 3 minutes. I'll jump into it.
This is about a planned commercial activity in a residential neighborhood. The planned activity is a daycare center on Pine Ridge Road. It's a road with no outlet and it ends in a cul-de-sac. The business will be in a cul-de-sac. And we are here with several of our neighbors that are concerned about the impact of this business. And what we're hoping for is this is a start of a discussion to get the board's input, perspective on this issue, and then discuss some next steps coming out of it, or, after getting your guidance. Personally, I've been a resident of Sommers for 25 plus years. And I'll tell you, 9 years ago, when we were looking for a new house, it wasn't a question of what street and what town we'd be going to, but where in Sommers we'd be living. We really love the peaceful community, and that's where we've raised all of our children. From Children Post College.
So what street is this on?
It's on Pine Ridge Road.
It's right on Pine Ridge Road.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as I say, you go to the end, there's a cul-de-sac, no outlet for traffic.
Okay. Yep. No, I don't know.
Okay. So as I think about this, the plan is for the neighbor to have this daycare business. They're currently working through New York State to get licensed. Hope to get 16 plus individuals, children here. And have that. And when I think of most of us, when we look at this, what we strove for here when looking to buy on Punch Bridge and this area is there's little traffic. As you can think about it, you don't think twice about strolling with the children, walking the dogs, peaceful outside community. And we really view that this new business will be dangerous. We're not looking for an increased traffic flow of people that don't know the area, don't know the community, don't know the neighbors. When we think about knowing our neighbors, when we're driving down the street, you slow down thinking about certain neighbors being around, certain animals, all those type of things. So the increased traffic we view will pose a thing. We understand that the state of New York is responsible for licensing these individuals that, my wife Grace here has spoken with other people here and understand that the licensing doesn't come from you, it comes from New York State. However, I got to be honest, as a taxpayer for 25 plus years, I think it's your responsibility to help us understand how a commercial business interacts in a residential area. Perhaps there's already a process where once New York State provides that license, it comes to you and then you put something out there. But if not, I think one of the things should be whether there should be a change in the bylaws that allow a process so that we understand that.
Okay. Thanks. We'll have to talk to our town attorney and find out sort of what our ability is.
It might be the building inspector that has this before them.
Okay. Yeah, well, there's no application, I don't think right now, right? To the best of your knowledge, there's no application.
So
Before the town board or before the town? Okay.
to the state,
To the
right,
state.
for the license. You have to get a
So how did you guys
license.
how were you made aware of this?
So we've known for about 6 to 8 weeks that this individual is planning on doing this. And the idea, and look, we've reached out, tried to have some peaceful interaction to better understand, which was met with some resistance. I understand they are still moving forward. It's a focus on what is important to that individual as opposed to what's important for the residential community.
But my question is, how were you made aware of it? I mean, did they come and talk to you about it, or
There's a rumor that you heard.
Is there a rumor?
I was made aware of it through the husband of the person who's going to be doing it.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is not hearsay. This is my wife is planning on
And
doing
you've seen
this.
some of the licensing that they've applied for, applications and all that type.
Yes. Oh, have we seen
Yeah.
what they've? No,
As
we
you
have
just
not
told-
seen that.
We've told.
Yeah.
Roland, if this is a school, I mean, does that put that in a different spot? You know, schools can just about write zoning.
It's not a school, it's a daycare center, which is licensed. I think anytime you go over six children, it has to be licensed.
But it's
you
not
said-
like a Padavon Act type of thing.
No.
Okay.
And you said how many children do they?
The
in
thing
your
of 16,
conversation?
16 plus.
16 plus.
And look, I look at this no difference of being here for a long period of time. There's no franchises in Sommers, obviously, other than maybe Duncan, which again, we appreciate about that. And in the past, when town, pools came up, they were voted down. We understand why. It's about continuing to have a safe environment, one that we don't have to worry about increased traffic, and looking at it from that perspective. And I don't know if any of the other neighbors have anything to say.
Yeah. So what I would say to you guys is let us do our due diligence and get some more information about this, right?
Can you shoot an email to the supervisor just so it's in the radar and we can look into it and the pertinent information?
Yep, supervisor@sommersny.com. You can just send it information.
Yeah, and we'll respond to it.
Can I just ask you, the neighbor, and we're not getting into personal things,
Yeah.
we're not going to do that here, but long-time neighbor?
Well, they've been here maybe 4 years.
4 years.
And I believe the house has been up for off and on the market 3 times during the last year.
Okay.
So again, I think about long-term, those of us here aren't looking to move. I was just joking because I got my property tax bill yesterday, as many of us did. Continue to pay it happy because of the community I live in, even if I don't get a tax deduction for it, right? But that's why all of this is very important to us. We are long-term people.
Not town tax, school tax.
School taxes, the more expensive part. And we plan on staying here.
Good. We are too.
Yep.
But
Oh,
the person or the place, the address, there's been no sort of informal daycare sending out the neighbors, hey, I'll take care of your kids. So nothing is
None of
started
that yet.
informally under the level of 6.
Correct.
Nothing's there yet.
Can
And then
Just want to
Can you
tip
give me-
into the
you
microphone.
give
for
me
me?
a location?
My name is Sam Capelli and I live directly next door in the cul-de-sac. And I'm there 2 years.
Yeah, all right.
We moved there, nice neighborhood, spent a lot of money, we pay a lot of
Beautiful neighborhood.
taxes.
So we need your address as well?
152 Pines Bridge Road,
Thank you.
Katona, New York. I'm a resident up here for over 25 years. I came from Yorktown to Sommers. I'm
Good
exactly 3 miles away. And we moved there. I have a handicapped daughter because we needed a first floor bedroom. And we spent a lot of money to buy this house. Taxes are very high, but we lived there. And these people want to open up a daycare with the traffic and the way I understand, she's looking to do it by January 1st. So what I understand, she applied for everything. Such a residential neighborhood, shouldn't this be some type of zoning?
Well, that's what
That's what we have to look into.
Yeah,
Right?
because it's a business. And exactly, she wants to run an after-school program with buses coming through there. She's just
Is
like,
that on the application you read or you're surmising that?
They didn't see an application.
it's what's been said.
Okay.
It's what's been said. There is a little chat in the Pines Bridge community that we tried to address it, by talking, like, what are you doing? And,
Yeah.
and she just went nuts on everybody, called us old farts. And she's, a young girl. She's, she's my
She's
daughter's
referring to the
age.
town board, not to you people.
Yeah.
She said the town
can't-
board's very old.
Hang on.
But she said a couple of things. They had the house up for sale. They might be going through a divorce.
Yeah. Let's just maybe summarize from my perspective.
Gentlemen, you're right.
I looked
You're a
at,
camera.
Okay.
I looked at, I was even looking at last week's or a couple weeks ago with Best Plumbing, right? The whole discussion you had with them, the impact on the neighborhood as to whether or not trucks can go at certain hours, all of that's relatable here. So that's really what we're making sure, that there's some process that somebody can't go forward. And I'm not thinking about one person working in their house doing an online business. I'm talking about cars, buses coming during all hours of the night, affecting the people that live there. And that there should be some kind of process as, members of the town, that someone has to raise a hand, an application, in order for there then to be at least a helpful discussion, regardless of where we end up as to the pros and cons, and go from there. So I'm not sure if a process does exist.
Suggestion.
Go ahead, Tom.
I would suggest you be the point person, send a note to the supervisor's office, say how many people you're representing. Kind of put into the email what you talked about here, and then the supervisor and staff can look into what, if any, authority we have, what powers we have, and we'll respond to you. We can't do it right now.
Sure, I understand.
It's rolling.
That's why I say I look at this as an initial discussion.
But if you want to CC everybody's email on there
Yeah.
as well, so when we respond back, it's not the chain back and forth, right?
Sure.
You can put all the emails on there as well. We'll take a look at it. We'll do our due diligence here to see what it entails.
Yep.
And
we'll look into it.
we'll look into it.
Concerns.
Yeah,
I mean-
because our view is it has nothing to do with the capabilities of the individuals. I agree. Let's just keep the individuals out of it. I think this is really a business decision affecting the residential community.
Yep.
And your major concern
Yes.
is traffic and the hours of that
A
traffic.
business in a residential
Okay.
area.
And if I can just do one last thing, Hon, anything I missed?
The noise.
My wife, I just want to check with my wife first because I don't have to go home with you.
Smart move.
Hon, we got everything okay. I'm sorry, Mary Beth. Can
Can you come up to the podium, please? And
Thank you very much.
State
I
your name.
appreciate everyone's
All right,
time.
thanks.
name and address.
Mary Beth Rock Sennett, and I'm at 3 Brook Hollow Court. So I'm just down the road in a very small, I don't know if you're familiar with Pines Bridge Manor, but it's a very small 10-house neighborhood. So I was just saying that the neighbors that are directly impacted by it, the noise level from having the kids in the neighborhood and the cars coming and going is also something that is a concern to all of us. And when we moved here a little more than 8.5 years ago and built this home with the Boniello family, we chose this home because of the quiet, beautiful, scenic nature, small house, a small neighborhood that would allow us to walk the dogs. The kids can ride the bikes. There's nothing to slow traffic down as you come down Pines Bridge Manor. So there's already a lot of speeding in our neighborhood. And my fear again is just the increase in traffic along with the speeding of the cars.
Thank you.
And also, just how can we allow just any business to pop up in a residential neighborhood?
Yep.
I mean, could I open a yogurt shop and bring in new traffic for that? I mean, it's just mind-boggling that you could just do this. I understand daycare as a mom. It's an important business. I get it. And there are a lot of areas in Sommers that this daycare facility would work better. But to bring it into a very small cul-de-sac neighborhood that's private, I think is something that the zoning authorities need to look at.
Thank you for your comment. Thank you. Oh,
Hi, Grace Finkel, 150 Pines Bridge Road. I had made several calls when we found out that our neighbor was planning on opening the daycare center to your offices, to highway, to zoning, to I forget what else. And I was told that this is regulated exclusively by New York State and that there really wasn't very much you guys town could do about it. However, I was also told that if she decides to pave over her lawn with parking spaces to accommodate 16 or more clients, once again, that's just something we're going to have to swallow and deal with. And then is that true?
No, we don't. The point is that we have to operate within the context of the law. We want to get the information. Roland's going to take a look at some of this and say, generally, we don't want this type of thing
Okay.
within a zone like.
Okay.
But there are nuances within the law that, essentially allow for some things like this. I don't know, but I've seen situations where our zoning is overridden. So we have to do our due diligence.
Yeah.
We empathize what you're saying. We don't want businesses in the middle of residential.
I don't want to have to go here and take about what ifs right now. I want to find out all the answers for you. So if you would please send me an email, CC everybody else on it, who you want to CC on it. We'll
Okay.
find you the right answers. We'll figure it out and then we'll get back to you.
Roland, is there a place where we can get the application off of the state licensing?
I don't know.
No, we'll-
I mean,
yeah,
locally, it's gonna turn on what's in the zoning code.
Right.
That's where we
Oh,
have,
their application.
that application, I don't know how you would draw it down.
I would get it. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, you know,
Three-page document discussing regulations related to opening one and what the individuals have to go through.
You've seen
You
it?
may or may not find that relevant. I'm happy to send it. I've read
So you've seen it?
Send it. Send it over.
Yeah.
Send it
But
over.
it's not their application. You just have a
It's
blank,
just a generic application.
Yeah.
blank one.
What they are is the regulation.
Sorry, you got to come back.
Oh, we got it.
Right.
Yeah,
right,
okay.
right.
The gentleman has the
So-
regulations that what you need to do, since they didn't hear you on camera, so he's gonna send that to us.
right.
Okay.
Right.
So Tom and I've been here 14 years. This has never come up. So we're kind of like,
Wow.
we don't really know what the powers of the town
Right.
are.
Mhm.
And then whatever those powers may or may not be, what's the best thing to do based upon balancing all the interests that people have? And that's sort of the task in front
Right,
of
right.
us.
Because it's not a double yellow road. It's not wide and,
Yeah, I know.
and we're at the cul-de-sac
Yeah.
and our driveways all open up onto that. And if she's gonna have traffic coming in and out, sorry, dropping off children, picking up children, it's just, yeah, the noise level alone. And then, the extra traffic. Yeah, our property values.
And
Exactly.
we understand.
Got it.
Okay.
We got you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
for
for being
coming. Let us know.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Anybody else
Is
for?
there anybody else here for public comment? If not,
I'm on,
okay.
I'm,
I'd like to make a motion
I'm
to
calling-
close public comment.
Second.
All in favor? So move.
hello, hello,
Is there anybody on Zoom?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure, let me make a motion to open up public comment to take any answer.
Yeah, we
on Zoom.
didn't-
Second.
All right, all in favor? All
Aye.
right, good. On Zoom?
hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can't.
I heard a little. Speak
Hello,
up.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can
Can
hear
you
you.
hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, I'm struggling. I did not want to call in, but I'm struggling because I'm listening to residents of a residential district complaining about someone attempting to implement a commercial activity in a residential zone. And I can only see parallels between this and the discussions you have had regarding the Airbnbs in residential zones. And I just want to point out that I've heard on these town meetings, your town attorney say the first rule of zoning is that what is not permitted is prohibited. And if that's the case, and you have people who bought homes in residential zones, don't you have an obligation, based on what your attorney has said, to stop allowing people to run commercial enterprises in residential districts if they're not explicitly permitted?
Well, and that's what we're gonna look into, man.
That's the
We
question.
we haven't had this in front of us, so we're taking a look at it. We need your name and address as well, please, for the record. But that's
Prefer
exactly
to
what we're looking into.
Get a name and address.
Prefer to stay anonymous, is that all possible?
I can't hear what you said.
She wants to stay anonymous.
I don't think it can be read into the record.
Okay, fine. But that's what we're gonna be looking into, man. That's exactly the point here. Like Mr. Clincy said, we've been here for 15 years and have never had this come before. So off the top of our heads, we don't know what we can and can't do.
You've
So
had
we're
it-
gonna look into it.
You've now before you in 3 different scenarios. Every time you have people who purchased homes in residential districts who are asking you to enforce your zoning laws to maintain the sanctity of those residential districts.
Yeah, I can't say it any other way than what I've already said.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who's the second person? Paul?
Paul, anybody else out there on Zoom?
Yeah, there's one more. Let's get their name and address first.
Hi, I'm sorry. My name is Carmen Santos and I'm here for Sustainable Westchester presentation.
Oh, okay. All right. You're on
Hold
later.
on one second, you're up next. Let me just close this out, okay?
Sounds good. Thank you.
But thank you, folks. If you go down that path.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. All right, let me make a motion to reclose public comment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved.
Re-eye.
Have a nice one,
Re-eye.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, folks.
Okay, let's move on to the next order of business here. Give the Sommers Covet update. Currently, as of the 31st, I didn't get the numbers here for the first, but as of yesterday, there were 75 active cases here in Sommers and 8 new cases. The last time I spoke and gave an update, there was 108 active cases. So it's nice to see that the COVID cases have come down, especially when school has started today. That's a plus. So I'd love to see in the number under 100. As you guys know, I've always said that we average right around the 120, 125. So that's below that. So that's a good sign for all of us here in town. Next up, we have new Westchester Power Solar Credit Offering, a presentation by Carmen Santos from Sustainable Westchester. So,
And
Carmen?
Mr. Supervisor, I will be recusing myself from this discussion.
Okay, thank you so much, Tom.
Thank you.
Yeah. Actually, you know what, Carmen, can you give me one, but how long your presentation?
I was
1
asked
minute?
to prepare-
Carmen, Carmen, you know what? The person who's after you is only going to be 1 minute. And I know you're going to be a little bit longer. So
Okay.
why don't we have Wing Biddle come up here and have the presentation first. So we'll move to number 3. And then Carmen, we'll come right back to you after he's finished. Okay?
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, I'm Willing Biddle. I'm president of Erstep Biddle Properties. We own a couple shopping centers in town. And I had sent a letter into the town board seeking your approval to add a permitted use to the zone in which Sommers Commons is in to permit a doggy daycare type use. This is a use that we've put in a shopping center in New Jersey recently. And I think it's a good use. And I think when the town of Sommers zoning code was drafted, maybe this use didn't exist. And so I have a dog, and I'm sure many people in the town have a dog. I don't live in the town, but I'm sure when people get in a jam or they go away on vacation, they need a place to house their dog. And these places are very professionally run, and they're very nice. And I think it would be a great, amenity to the town, and it would be good for the town people. And it would be good for our property to be able to attract that type of use.
So where exactly up there is it going to be? I mean, you have the home goods, old home goods.
We don't have any location yet because we haven't really been able to market it because it's not a
Okay.
permitted use.
How many square feet is it doggy daycare? Is that what they call it? That's the franchise?
No, it's the one that we just did in New Jersey is called Canine Resorts. There's another, I know, very fancy, right? It looks like a little castle. There's another one called Dogtopia.
So you're looking to
They're
attract-
advertised. Yeah, but they're primarily franchise driven.
Yeah.
They seem to be anywhere from 9,000 to 12,000
That's
feet.
what I asked, right?
They have a little outside area where dogs will get exercise outside, and it's always supervised.
And you currently have an idea of what location would go in?
We're thinking, we don't have that sort of square footage right now, but we're thinking maybe in the front stores in front of where the gym is, where we have a bunch of vacancies.
Okay. Got it.
Okay.
So it's a 9 to 12,000 is about the size of which store up there? Like, so you got New York Sports Club.
Yeah, it would be about a third the size of New York Sports Club. That's about 30,000.
That's about 30,000.
Like the size of Penny Lane?
Yeah, that's
Probably
about
smaller.
3,000, bigger than that.
Oh,
Yeah,
bigger than that. Okay.
probably if you combined Penny Lane and the ice cream store
Goldstone.
and a little bit of Goodwill.
Okay.
A
Yeah.
little bit of Goodwill. So
Or the stores next to Stop and Shop, maybe
Yeah.
3/4 of those.
That whole row. Okay.
So not huge.
All right.
Yeah, and a typical store is 100 feet deep, so 90 feet wide by 100 feet deep would be, 9,000 feet.
Yep.
and
As
you
a-
have these you said you have one in one of your properties.
We
in
have,
New
we
Jersey.
just, one is under construction in a shopping center we have in Emerson, New Jersey, which is a Bergen County, nice town. And we've delivered that and they're building it out right now. The tenant is. So.
And Tractor, so Tractor Supply will be where Home Goods.
Tractor Supply is going into most of Home Goods.
Yeah.
Except for about 2,700 square feet.
Good.
Yeah.
And then you look for where else you can put this because You got to fill up space.
Yeah, so there's, it's a struggle to find retail.
Yeah.
And so we're finding more and more service uses are looking to go into shopping centers, and that's good for us. I mean, I heard the daycare today. I mean, that's a use that would be appropriate in our shopping center that we would like to attract. If that operator is listening, give me a call. My number is.
That's an idea.
But we know it's been a long haul, but we're happy that Tractor Supply is, you've been able to, accommodate that,
Yeah, well, it's
that
not
business
signed,
up there.
it's not signed yet, but knock
Yeah.
on wood, we're moving along. We've been in front of the going back for the zoning board of appeals on the 20th. We need a variance for a height of a fence, believe it or not. Yeah.
Oh, to keep your equipment in, that's right.
Yeah, so people don't steal their tractors or whatever they sell out.
Yeah.
The fence has to
The
be,
mulch,
usually you need a variance if it's over 6 feet.
Yeah, so
Right.
you're going to 8 feet on that, I believe, right?
8 feet.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay.
It'd be a little bit higher on once because it's part of it's sunk in the ground because that's on a grade. So the front.
All right.
will-
We're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Fingers
Thanks.
crossed.
Thanks for telling us about this.
I don't have a problem with,
Bow wow.
I don't know the particulars, but I don't have a problem with adding the use.
No,
Neither do I.
neither do I. I mean, I think, so Patty, let's, on that, let's move the action items will be placed on next week's agenda.
So we have to go through what, public hearing and all that stuff? Wayne, I mean,
Yeah.
Wayne doesn't care if we go through a public hearing. He just assumes we don't.
So
Yeah.
if you file a
it's a
petition,
process.
your next step would be to bring in a petition
We're not ready.
Oh, is that right?
for a
Okay.
text change to the code
Oh,
that
okay.
can be referred to the planning board and to the
We're not
county
ready.
planning board.
Okay.
That's-
Okay.
Oh,
It's gonna submit a petition.
Yeah, so once he submits a petition, then we can do all the
You
action.
didn't
And the
realize that.
petition
Yeah,
should
it's a
include an
process.
EAF.
You get it
Okay.
tomorrow? Is that what-
Okay.
So as soon as you
You get
get
it
that
tomorrow.
petition to us, you get us to tomorrow, then we can put it on next week's agenda for you.
And then we
Okay.
schedule a public hearing.
schedule
and take,
public-
Well,
Okay.
Well, we,
First,
Not yet.
once you get the petition, you have to refer it to the planning board and to the county planning board.
right.
Okay.
And you have to wait for their
30
recommendations.
days.
So we're
Then you
looking
can
at
schedule a
October
public
meeting.
hearing.
No.
Okay.
We'll see.
March.
So the sooner you get it to us.
November.
the process started.
Well, as I said, we don't, it's not like we have a lease to be signed.
Understand, but these
But sooner we can
Quicker you
get out there before they go to, the next town over, Mayapack, and go there, and then we wouldn't be in the running. So. Okay, thank
As soon
you.
as you get it to us, we'll put it.
Thank you for your
All right,
consideration.
good.
All right, thank you.
you.
Thanks. Thanks.
All right.
Supervisor,
Now-
I still recuse myself.
Okay, so now let's move back up to number 2. Carmen Santos from Sustainable Westchester, going to do a little presentation for us. So Carmen, you can take it away.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me here tonight.
Can you turn up the volume?
Yeah, louder.
Turn it up a little bit for us.
Okay. I'm sorry, can everyone hear me now?
That's better. It's been a little bit louder. Can you go a little louder?
Okay, let me try again. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, great, thank you. I will be sharing my screen. So I'll be giving a presentation. My name is Carmen Santos, and I am a manager of solar programs at Sustainable Westchester. And today I'll be speaking to you about the Westchester Power Program and its new offering. Okay, so just to take you back, Westchester is a local nonprofit based in Mount Kisco, New York. We have 45 member municipalities, and including the county itself. We deliver environmentally and fiscally sound solutions, and many of our programs are focused on achieving a clean energy environment. We have community energy programs such as the Westchester Power Program. We also have building decarbonization programs, electrification solutions, and zero waste solutions. We align our work with New York State's Climate Act, which has required us to have 70% renewable energy by 2030 for electricity, 40% reduction of greenhouse gas emissions by 2030, and that 35% of the benefits of the clean energy and energy efficiency programs are delivered to disadvantaged communities. So now I'll be telling you a little bit about the Westchester Power Program as a whole. It is a community energy program administered by Sustainable Westchester with 29 participating municipalities. It is also known as a community choice aggregation program. It is regulated by New York Public Service Commission. It is municipally reviewed and approved in order to deliver the different offerings that we have. Now, it uses an opt-out model for all of its offerings, and it currently has 2 offerings. One is the electricity supply, which was launched in 2016, which offers renewable energy and standard grid electricity supply to 145,000 households and small businesses in 29 participating municipalities. Something important to note about this offering is that it is not available to households enrolled in the utility assistance programs, because the fixed rate that is delivered for electricity supply cannot guarantee savings. We now are excited to let you know that we will be launching on the 4th quarter of 2022. That is our goal, a solar credit offering under the Westchester Power Program. The solar credit offering is an enhanced community solar offering or shared solar offering that provides solar credits or monetary savings in the electricity bills of eligible participants on an opt-out basis. Our priority for the offering is low to moderate income households, and we will be starting with households that are enrolled in the utility assistance programs. And we are making available this offering to all Westchester County municipalities. So to give you some updates on our timeline, on August 2021, we submitted a solar credit plan to New York State Public Service Commission. We estimate receiving approval for our plan in October 2022. We have a number of municipalities that are adopting the updated enabling law, which we shared with you. So far, we have 5 communities that have updated the enabling law, and we have a number of them having hearings this September. Now, we estimate starting a required 60-day outreach and education in all municipalities wishing to participate in the offering starting in October 2022. And we estimate that we may be obtaining approval for municipalities that start their 60-day outreach within this time by January 2023. And that households within these municipalities would be receiving savings by around April 2023. We will continue to enroll those in utility assistance programs as more solar capacity is contracted, and we hope that in the future, in a few years, we're able to expand the offering to households and businesses and organizations located in disadvantaged communities that are not in the utility assistance programs, and eventually to all others across the participating municipalities. So why are we prioritizing those enrolled in utility assistance programs? We are doing this because those enrolled in these programs face the highest burden of energy cost and often have the greatest need for these savings. Some participants in these utility assistance programs may be recipients of home energy assistance program, supplemental nutrition assistance program, among these other programs listed here. We also want to note that the PSC, or New York State Public Service Commission, also refers to those in the utility assistance programs as assistance program participants, or APPs, in case you run into this language in the future. Okay, so we've identified over 30,000 households in utility assistance programs within Westchester County and approximately 144 in the town of Sommers, using US Census American Community Survey proxy data. Now, since this is a large number, we have to have a prioritization method in place. So we are going to be prioritizing households in census tracts that are designated as disadvantaged communities. This disadvantaged communities or DAC criteria has been developed by the Climate Justice Working Group and takes into account environmental burdens and pollution vulnerabilities. We then hope to move to non-DAC designated census tracts that have the lowest area median household income. Now, it's important to note that we will be prioritizing households in municipalities that adopt the enabling law sooner over those that adopt the enabling law later. It is also important to note that we aim and we will do our best to enroll all utility assistance program households across participating municipalities before moving to the next customer group. In this case, it would be households in designated disadvantaged communities that are not in the utility assistance programs. Okay, how does the solar credit offering work? The solar credit offering uses a New York State community solar model. That means that you do not have to install anything on your home if you wish to participate in the program. Eligible participants will be allocated a portion of a local solar project based on their historical annual electricity usage. The solar projects will generate energy that will be delivered to the local power grid. And this energy generated will earn participants solar credits or monetary savings on their electricity bill, reducing their monthly electricity costs. There will be a notification and enrollment process. After Sustainable Westchester performs targeted outreach within participating municipalities through meetings, webinars, etc., we will be sending notification letters to all eligible households as local solar capacity becomes available. The eligible households will have 30 days to opt out before they're automatically enrolled into the solar credit offering if they do not do anything. So those households that do not do anything and choose to stay in the offering will be matched to a local solar farm for enrollment using New York State's community solar model. Now, the solar credit offering uses an opt-out model, as I mentioned. And it's good to know that community solar has been around in New York State for over 5 years. However, the participation of low to moderate income households on a sign-up basis has been very low to date, despite significant efforts to reach them. So in order for us to reach and direct benefits to low to moderate income households on a large scale, we are making use of the Westchester Power program and its opt-out model. This is an example of how the savings will be reflected on the bills of participants. In this example, the electricity charges of this participant is $150. The participant earns $100 in solar credits, and it will be labeled as CDG value stack credit on the bill. $90 of solar credit subscription fee will be applied on that same bill with a title of CDG subscription fee. After the subscription fee reduces the solar credit, the participants will retain $10 or 10% of the solar credit savings that was applied to that. The participant will then pay $140 in total, resulting in a $10 savings on the overall electric bill for this month. Okay, so what are the benefits for the solar credits? Well, it is savings. So an average assistance program household will save about $110 a year or $9 a month. The 30,000 households that we estimate are in utility assistance programs will save about $62 million over 20 years. And The way in which participants paid their electricity bills will remain the same. They will simply just, the solar credits will simply just be applied on each of their bills. The participants will remain enrolled in their assistance programs. The offering has no impact on their current assistance program benefits. They will keep their preferred electricity supplier. And if they have NYSEG right now, they will continue to have NYSEG supply them energy. They can now use their power to choose to participate in this offering by doing nothing, or they can opt out. They can cancel anytime without penalty. And in participating in this program, they will be supporting a local solar project and clean energy. So the benefits to our communities include that the offering promotes climate justice. It strengthens local economies with retained savings. It stimulates and accelerates local renewable development at scale, along with environmental benefits and green jobs. And it aligns with our climate goals. We will have support for the municipalities and the communities. We will do community outreach. We'll have collateral material. We will have the notification letters that I spoke about. We will provide customer service Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 p.m. via calls or emails. We will also have support for Spanish-speaking residents. So the next steps for Sommers are to adopt the updated enabling law, which contains the language to enable the solar credit offering under the Westchester Power Program. In October, we hope to circulate an administration agreement, which you would also sign in order to participate in the solar credit offering. It's important to note that after the enabling law is adopted, Sustainable Westchester can start targeted community outreach in your community. This is important because in order for a community to be approved by New York State to participate in such an offering, we must provide New York State a copy of the municipality's updated local enabling law, evidence of at least 2 months of outreach and education after the adoption of the enabling law, and a sample notification letter. Just to give you some information on the updated enabling law, the main changes were for the inclusion of the new product, which is we've been referring to as the solar credit offering, but the state knows it as opt-out community distributed generation, or CDG credits. And this product would now go under a CCA, or community choice aggregation, such as the Westchester Power Program. We worked with the existing definitions to update them in order to accommodate the new offering. Some of the changes also help future-proof the enabling law. So we've noticed that some enabling laws had taken exact language from the CCA framework order, which has been updated and will continue to be updated moving forward. So it's important that we're often referring to the CCA framework order as opposed to specific language. Also, the enabling law has been reviewed by the Department of Public Services, and we've also worked with our legal counsel, Pace Energy and Climate Center. One more request that we have for the municipality is that if you are a major stakeholder in any solar or energy storage projects, that you consider involving Sustainable Westchester in your conversations, as some of these projects may be able to be brought onto the solar credit offering, enabling us to deliver the benefits to lower income households more. Thank you. Now, I would like to open the floor for any questions you may have.
So Carmen, will the credits always exceed the fee? Am I saying that properly?
Yes, the credits will always exceed the fee. And as of right now, that The fee will be 90% of the credits. So there will always be a 10% savings on those credits that are
On a monthly basis, so you won't run in, there won't be timing differences. That would be the second question.
No, because the credits will be applied at the same time as the fee on the same bill.
Okay. You know, you're gonna go to the 144 residents first, is that right?
That is correct, yes.
And then you'll expand to something larger than that?
Yes, then we will be expanding to communities that are designated as disadvantaged communities. In the town of Sommers, we don't have those communities. However, depending on when you adopt enabling law, we may move to the next phase in your community if we don't have any other communities to provide savings to their lower income households first.
But as Westchester, you have 30,000
Yes.
households targeted, right?
Yes, that's what
how-
we estimate. However, as I mentioned, so far we've only had 5 communities adopt the enabling law. We do have a number of them in September reviewing the laws or already having hearings for the law. So yes, we will have more, but it's still beneficial to your community because those 144 households could really benefit from.
So it's on a first come, first served basis. So if we sign up sooner, our 144 may be ahead of the rest of the 30,000 or so.
Yes, that is correct. So as you sign up sooner, you will, those households that are in the utility assistance programs will be higher in the enrollment queue.
One other clarifying question is, we're with the aggregation supply program, right? You're saying that if one of the 144 are aggregating supply, they can also participate in this.
So if, first of all, utility assistance program participants are not in the electricity supply offering, that is because we are not allowed to serve them because we cannot guarantee savings. So the solar credit offering would be their first Westchester Power offering.
So I'm not sure if I understand. You understand that?
Yeah, they can't guarantee in a CCA, you
Yeah,
can't guarantee a
right, I
savings.
understand that.
And so the law doesn't allow them to go to people who are in need because it may not actually reduce their bill in the short term.
So our
This
144.
one will. This program will guarantee them savings.
So these 144, if they're participating in community aggregation, they can also participate in this.
They can't be in community aggregation because they can't guarantee a savings, and the law requires that
Supply aggregation. We did a community supply aggregation.
community choice.
The one that we've done
Yes, that's
at the
community choice.
8.7 cents per kilowatt hour. They said that right, kilowatt hour.
Mhm.
If one of these 144 are in that program, can they participate in this program?
So let me clarify that there will be only one program, the Westchester Power Program, that is a community choice aggregation program. It now will have 2 offerings. One of them is an electricity supply offering, and
Got
the
it.
other one is the solar credit offering. For the electricity supply offering, those households, the 144, are not under the electricity supply offering because we are not allowed to serve them with electricity supply. However, we are allowed to serve them with solar credits. And so we will be bringing them into the solar credit offering if the municipality chooses to proceed.
Okay.
I had a question
ahead.
about the fee. You said there was a 90% fee and the consumer would get a 10% savings. Over time, does that 90% ever go down? Whereby the consumer would get more than 10% of the savings?
No, it will be set at a value. And as of right now, it's set at you get 10% of the solar credit savings. So in the example, you had $100 So they only end up receiving $10 of those $100. And it'll always be that 10%. And that rate will be set in place as the rules currently exist.
So did I read up to 10% or am I misread?
Oh,
that?
yes. So the up to 10% is the way we communicate when we are saying that you may be able to save up to 10% on your electricity bill. So what ends up happening is that we look at the historical use of an individual, and then we allocate them an average share of the solar project that would that would be an average value that their consumption is, or their use is, or their electricity bill is. Okay. But the solar panels, they act different during the seasons, right? So in the summer, they'll generate more, and in the winter, they'll generate less. So that's why we say it's up to 10% savings on your electricity bill. It sometimes will be lower than the, and at times it could get to 10% of whatever your electricity bill is.
Okay. So on a monthly basis, it can
Right.
vary.
So
It may not be 10% annually, though.
it's 10% as it relates to your
Communication.
electricity bill. I mean, it's up to 10% as it relates to your electricity bill, but for the solar credits that are applied to you, it will always be 10% savings on that.
All right.
So yeah, so the credits you receive will vary because of how the solar panels produce the energy, as one example.
Well, thank you.
Rich, anything?
Yeah, Carmen, I have a couple questions for you. At one of your last slides, you referred to, you ran this by, I think, Pace Energy. Now, is that the Property Assessed Clean Energy Program or Pace University? It's written as PACE rather than PACE. I was just wondering which one you're referring to there.
Pace Energy and Climate Center. That's what the program is called. And they do various, it's a legal group that does a lot of help, that basically supports a lot of efforts related to clean energy across.
So that's through Pace University.
It is, the specifics of it, I'm not too sure, but it should be through Pace University.
Okay. And if a person has a renewable option now through the CCA, such as myself, that would not preclude being part of this solar program also? So
because of our prioritization method in our enrollment and the enrollment path or the enrollment queue that we would have, it may at first, but in the future, if we have enough solar capacity, we may be able to bring you in. It really will all depend. Like if you're in assistance, well, first of all, again, sorry, if you're in assistance programs in the utilities assistance programs, they will come first and they're not in the electricity supply. But
I understand that. And you have to roll this out incrementally because there's not enough solar supply for everybody all at the same time.
Yes.
The supply has to be built based upon the need as it incrementally increases. Am I correct?
Right. Yes. And in the future we have enough solar capacity to serve more people, eventually we will get to those that are in the Westchester Power electricity supply.
And when you said that low and middle income people have not been quick to follow up on some of these programs, did you ever do any follow-up as to why? Was it lack of knowledge, lack of trust, lack of something?
Yes.
Any follow-up? I'm just curious why people would not do it.
Yes, so it's a combination of lack of trust because they have been targeted during the ESCO times. So there's that, as well as other instances where they've just didn't, basically they've been taken advantage of. Also, it could be barriers such as technology barriers. So community solar has required people to sometimes go online and sign up and submit a bill and then eventually get signed up, so that every step in the process has been a barrier for these community members. So those, Mhm.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
And I get a credit each month for some solar program. Dan Welch helped sign me up for it out of your office.
Mhm.
I don't, well, I don't know what solar program it's called. Is it called community solar? What is it called?
Our program is called Community Solar, yes.
But I'm getting it now. So I'm upstate. I got on
Mhm.
when they had the capacity somewhere upstate. I signed on, I get a credit for that,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
So would that preclude me also going into this solar program? You can't be in two solar programs. There's one
No.
sun.
You
know?
cannot be in both.
So it have to
because you're
choose. I'm
already
in that or a new one.
Yes, you are already receiving the benefits of solar.
I am.
And you're
yes.
actually receiving it through a community solar model, and we cannot provide you savings.
Okay. So my neighbor and I who are in that, this would not be for us unless we find it to be advantageous and drop out of the other one and come into this one, or people like me who are already in that, right?
Right. And I would encourage you to not drop out of the
Yeah, but it's going to be a time lag.
Right. And also, the opportunity, you already have it. And like, we cannot be too certain as to like how long this program or these opportunities would be available. So we would not know when we would be able to serve you too.
And early on, you said at the beginning that these would be served, people in this program will be served by local solar projects, you said. And then later you said NYSEG territory. I assume NYSEG territory is what you mean by local solar projects. Yes?
Yes. Right now, that is what we mean. The projects are within the utility area that they're in. So NYSEG is spread out throughout the state,
right.
but Con Ed is more localized. So that's what we mean by local.
So we are, everybody in Sommers is in NYSEG territory for
Yes,
electricity.
Correct.
And it's going to work. Have you worked out so it's seamless in terms of the billing and the credits, or this is something that still has to be developed between the two organizations?
You mean NYSEG? Okay. NYSEG
Because
is.
you showed a bill before and you get a credit
Mhm.
on that of 90%. And I just wanted, this
Yes,
is all set up or it's still to develop?
No, NYSEG is already working on what we refer to as consolidated billing or net crediting. And they're already have projects that are operating under it.
Good for NYSEG. Okay. Thank you.
Is anybody else?
No,
No,
thank you.
Carmen, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Appreciate it. And we'll be in touch. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Carmen.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Tom, you want to rejoin?
I will rejoin.
All right.
Incidentally, if you intend to proceed, I already have the local law done that
Okay.
you'd have to adopt because I did it for North Salem.
Got it.
They've already adopted.
They've already adopted it.
So whenever you're ready, you can set a public hearing.
Did North Castle also?
North Castle doesn't.
They're not in.
They don't get in this.
Yeah, they're not in that,
I
right?
don't know why, but they've never expressed an interest.
Yeah, they're also not in NYSEG.
They find it.
Okay. Thanks, Roland.
Oh, and the other thing is, while I was sitting up there, I looked up in your zoning. You do define daycare in your zoning. And you do permit it in all of your commercial districts, almost all of your commercial districts.
Right.
But none of your residential.
But never
Okay,
residential.
good.
Okay.
Good to know.
So that's the answer to the question then.
Yeah, so I just have to make sure that that's the answer that the building department is.
Yes.
giving out.
If they've approached the building department.
Well, eventually.
Right,
When
I
they, when
mean,
they do,
it-
let's get ahead of it. Yeah.
but if it's a 72-page program, you would think someone would check it out locally before they went through the process.
You never know,
Right.
it's sort of like,
Yeah.
Don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness.
Or
Or just hope nobody complains.
That's good. I'll,
if the person is listening, Mr. Biddle already invited you to open the business there if you can't where you are.
that's good to know. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on here to number 4. Accept the proposal and authorize the supervisor to execute the contract with Doyle Security amount of $2,262 to install additional duress buttons in the annex, number 5 of them, and in the Townhouse 10 per August 23rd, 2012 memo from Thomas J. Tuma Jr. Inspector.
I think that might be a.
That's
that might be a typo.
that's 2020,
We've been sitting on this for a while.
2022. I'd like to make a motion to accept the proposal.
It says additional. Does that mean there already are?
We already have it. Yes, we're putting in all of the offices.
So
all
each
the-
office in addition. Okay,
Yes.
Shame we have to, but totally understand.
no problem.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Authorize the solicitation of requests for proposal to hire a company to renovate the teen room per memo dated August 18th, 2022 from Jennifer Daddio, Director of the Sommers Library. Patty, can we move that to the consensus agenda for next week?
Absolutely.
Great.
Go ahead.
Number 6
Absolutely.
here, adopt a road program for Forest Lane and Eastview Place to Lakeview Drive renewal agreement. Anybody have a discussion about that? If not, I'd like to move it to the consensus agenda for next week.
Second.
What does this do?
It's the adopt a road program.
Trying to clean the road.
Fresh.
So we're just renewing what?
We're just renewing what's already in place.
I didn't know you had to renew it.
Yeah, he's done, it's every 2 years.
Oh, is that right?
For many years.
Oh,
The
okay.
Sommers.
I missed it.
I don't
Okay.
remember seeing it. Rich.
Yeah.
2 years ago today, of course, it was 732 days. Yes, I remember.
Patty, I'd like to just add 2 more things here, for additions. I'd like to just give an update to the town about the town road update. Spoke with the regional director and the head of road maintenance for the state. There is no funding for our state roads this year for 202, 118, and 35. So when, like we do here, when the state grades out roads for paving, we Sommers graded out above where they would do the paving, and we did not meet the criteria. We will go ahead and advocate for the roads to be in next year's budgets. This will add a little bit of pressure to our highway departments and add a bit more wear and tear on our vehicles and our equipment, but I have the full faith in Nick and his team at the highway department to get the job done this year for our winter. So we will continue to push for some funding. I know they're going to be doing a study on Route 35. Hopefully we can get some stuff done in that regard.
Well, it's spot by Lincoln Hall
Yeah,
over
Lincoln
there.
Hall.
It's like
That's
ridiculous.
terrible. Last winter, that was terrible.
Mhm.
At what level do they stop patching and start paving? I mean, there's
Yeah.
patches on patches on patches there.
Yeah, when I was on the phone, we went through an overhead site. They picked it up. And they said, yeah, we can, we did the scrapers come by, but there's no money in the budget for it. So we have to just advocate for us to go try to get some to push it.
Now,
And see
there's
if we
money
can,
in the state to repave some state roads, just not these state
and
roads.
it's interesting
Not
because we
our
have,
state road.
not
Not
our
our
state road.
state roads.
We have that,
Personal.
agreement to plow our
Yeah.
state roads here,
Yeah.
which is going to add the wear and tear onto our
Yeah.
our highway
Those
department.
Potholes. I mean, it's-
But I think we should we should advocate with our state representatives
Correct.
and say, hey, listen, you represent us. You come drive these roads and I'll call you, in the middle of winter if you don't believe us.
I will say our state representative was
Which state representatives?
so Senator Harcum, I had a conversation with him. He had a meeting. He called me directly after that meeting and told me that the budget wasn't there. So I appreciate him looking into it. I appreciate him following up what he said he was going to do. I called the officials at the state to see if we can get to do anything else, to try to advocate for it. So we just have to keep advocating a little bit more and see if we can get on our roads for next year. So I wanted to give people a little update on that. I know we're coming into winter. We've got several phone calls into the office about our state roads. We all know that, especially last winter.
Yep.
Many people were in here complaining about it. So I know we're doing our job and going through our budget as well to pave our town roads.
So hopefully we continue to advocate and hopefully we'll have some
I mean,
information next spring.
Do they want to write letters? I mean, individual residents.
We
can
could,
write letters.
they could call in and we can give the information to that, to where to reach out to. But I just wanted to give the town an update on that.
You know, my thoughts on this, and few people agree, and probably they're right and I'm wrong. But when it's in the town, our roads, people don't think it's state or town. Let's pay them, charge the state. We did your work for you, pay us back. It's my opinion.
I'm all for that. I just don't think we'll get paid back.
No, the law does not allow us to do that. So yeah, you're right, but it just seems.
It's under different labor, you know.
Yes, there'd be all
contracts.
sorts of things,
So
and
you
their
can't just
requirements are a
do-
little bit different than ours. Yes, the.
It's
superintendent-
just crazy though, and you know, they're right off 100 and they drive on these roads. And when you see, Tony's 100% right. When you see in front of, you know, that's where the people line up to go to the schools. In front of Lincoln Hall is terrible. I mean, it's been terrible for I don't know how many years, and it's just a different color of patch that they put in every year. That's ridiculous.
So,
Tom, were you at the meeting several years ago when people from Albany and the DOT came down, because they're talking about Bonnie Ellis project, and they didn't like where the fence was on front, so they came down and sit in this room. And the guy comes down from Albany, he comes down, he gets off of 84, he comes down 100. He comes into the room. So I don't remember his name, but he was important. Everybody knew him. And he comes in and goes, that road out there is terrible. And everybody in the room starts, yeah, it's your road. It's your road. And it did get paid.
I didn't remember that
part.
We have to invite him down again.
Yes.
In the wrong direction. Let's meet him at Lincoln Hall so he goes down that road.
Absolutely. That's the worst.
So the other update I just wanted to let people know here in the town is public water versus private water, right? We've getting a few phone calls in here about people worrying about a drought. So when it comes to public water, right, at this time, there are no restrictions being imposed by New York City DEP. So our reservoirs are at this time at an 80% capacity. So you would think when we drive around here, we haven't had rain in about 80 days, 85 days. We haven't had any substantial rain, that our reservoirs would be depleted. That is actually not the case. There's been plenty of rain up in the Albany area. Our reservoirs are filled. If they were to get some, the reservoirs, if they weren't supposed to get a heavy rainfall this winter, that may carry on to June of next year. But I guess the concern that most residents had is when it comes to the private household, with people who have the wells. Homeowners should do what they can to conserve water consumption. Limit the watering of lawns, right? Filling up your pools. Not only is it for your sake too, and it's expensive to replace and dig new wells, but also to your neighbors. We'd be drawing on your neighbor as well. So that would put people in the pressure on that. So, and also too, we've had a few brush fires here in the town. And if you're out there, especially when they're during the fall time, just be careful if we don't get rain, if we have those backyard fires in your fire pit, just to make sure that we're taking precautions for it. So that's the difference between the public water and the private water sector. So for those people who are on wells, just do your part if you can, just to try to conserve water consumption, especially for yourself and for your neighbor. It can get kind of costly.
So that would include, like Heritage Hills or pumping water out of the ground, right? And some of the other, like the Willows, they have their own, that's all on private water.
It's private.
So to piggyback, I was with an arborist today, and usually there's, two growing seasons, and one of them is in August. And basically we just blew through that one. There was no growing. And even if we do get rain right now, the ground is so hard, it's not penetrating, it's not doing anything. So you're 100% right. If somebody's watering their lawn, I mean, mine is hay. And it's not going to get back. I mean, I've even told the person who cuts it not to cut it anymore because it's no good. It's just going to hurt it. So yeah, if you can do that, where we live, everybody sort of is on a well, but you're right. We draw from the same water table. So yeah, if you can do your best. that'd be appreciated.
And the thing about fires is true. Minnewaska State Park was closed this
Yep.
year because they had a fire up there. Thank goodness it wasn't caused by someone with a campfire.
lightning strike.
It was lightning, but it was so dry that they had to close the whole state park, which I don't ever remember that happening
neither do I.
before.
That's Ulster, right? Is that Ulster?
No, it's
Yeah.
by New Paltz. I'm not sure what that is.
Yeah, okay. Good
So,
information.
thank you. So let's head on to, there's no additional business for Parks and Rec. There's no additional business for Finance, Highway. There's no additional business. We do have some personnel. We do have current vacancies as well. Affordable Housing Board, 3 2-year terms ending 7/11/2024. Assessment Board of Review, 1 5-year term ending 9/30/2023. The Library Board of Trustees, 1 5-year term ending 12/31/2025. Partners in Prevention, 2 3-year terms ending 12/31/2022. And Partners in Prevention, 1 3-year term ending 12/31/2023. Again, we have some upcoming vacancies, terms expiring in 2022. The Assessment Board of Review, we have a 1 5-year term ending 9/30/2022.
Yesterday.
Correct.
And if they are interested, how would they make their interest?
So they can contact the supervisor's office. And if you'd like to put a resume there for any of you who are interested in serving on one of these boards, you can send your resume to me and then to the town, to myself. And we'll take a look at the resume and have you come in for an interview. And we'll take it from there. Anybody else want to add anything to that? No. Okay, no additional business for planning and engineering. Police, there's no additional business. Does anybody have anything on the proposed agenda?
You mean the one item?
The one item?
Looks good to me.
I'd like to make a motion then to
Keep it there.
keep it there.
I don't even think we need a motion for that, Rob.
Yeah. So calendar of events here. Our next town board meeting is September 8th at 7 o'clock. Then we have a work session on October 6th, 2022, and October 13th, we have a regular board meeting. And then again, we are combining the work session and the regular meeting on November 10th. And I know we do have some announcements we would like to say. So today we kicked off our food scrap recycling in the town of Sommers. You may have seen it in the Sommers record. It was there for people to see. We're pretty excited about that. Residents can bring all food scraps to the food scrap drop-off site located at the Highway Department, 250 Route 100. All food scraps are acceptable, including fruits, vegetables. Remove the stickers, band ties. Meat is acceptable. Poultry, bones are okay. Fish, shellfish. Shells, okay, dairy, bread, pasta, rice, grains, egg shells, chips, snacks, nuts, seeds, leftovers, spoiled and expired food. Cooked is okay. Coffee grounds, paper filters are okay, as well as tea bags, no staples, please. Paper towels, napkins, cut flowers and compostable bags, no plastic bags, please. We're going to put a flyer on our website to share with everybody. This is just another step that we are doing to lower our carbon footprint. So we're excited about that.
Now, to do that, the ideal thing is you have a small bin in your kitchen with not a recyclable bag, a compostable bag, as you say, not a biodegradable, but compostable, yeah. And then that goes into some other container, and you bring that bigger container in over to where the collection center will be near the highway department, and that will be loaded, and then you go home with yours. Is there a way for people to get all that?
Yeah, I'll put that on the website where you can pick up that the bags and the toter as well, the small toter for your house.
Do we have grants for that, or we're gonna have to pay for them as we go through?
Which one?
To get all those.
The toters, the big ones? For
Well,
us?
the ones next to my sink and the little bags that go into that.
That would be for the resident to supply themselves.
And then
And then they can transport it to the highway department and drop it off the bag into those toters that we took the picture in front of.
All right. You know what I would suggest maybe, and I'll do it, is ask for our grant writers, like, this seems to me, thinking about it, gotta be some sort of grant for this sort of thing that would be right up the alley. She was just talking about the state wanting to reduce carbon footprint, by 2030, 40 and 50. Well, there's one way to do it, like you said. So I would assume that there's some sort of incentives to get people to do it. And
If you would like to tackle that, then
yeah,
go right for it.
sure.
Go get him, Rich.
You got it.
All right. Number 2, the Town of Sommers Blood Drive is Tuesday, September 6th, 2 to 8 p.m. Sommers Townhouse right here, 335 Route 202. Appointments can be made by calling the New York Blood Center at 1-800-933-2566 or visit nybc.org. Remember to eat, drink, and bring photo ID or your NYBC donor card. The Sommers Women Club's annual tag sale, Sunday, September 18th, and that is at 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Reese Park, 82 Primrose Street. There'll be garden supplies, books, toys, jewelry, furniture, vendors, a bake table, and much more. On that same day, there is Celebrate Sommers with the Sommers Chamber of Commerce. And that is again Sunday, September 18th, and that is at 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. in the Sommers Town Center, 325 Route 100. There'll be kids' activities there. There'll be food, there'll be music, there'll be the dancers, of course, dozens of vendors, and there'll be lots of entertainment. And then E-Waste Recycling Day. I want to get that out to people now. That is not going to be until October. Let me just make sure that's right. October 15th, 2022, and that is going to be from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And that's at Sommers Intermediate School, 240 Route 202, Sommers, New York. $10 per car donation will go to Keep Sommers Beautiful. And all of these things will be on our website for you to see. And if anybody doesn't have anything else,
I would just,
go ahead. Sean, want to start?
I'll just say to remind everybody that school started today. So give yourself a little extra time if you're traveling by the schools. A lot of people do the parent drop off and traffic does get backed up. So just leave yourself an extra 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, especially driving during your in the neighborhoods, right? Just slow down a little bit. There's kids out there.
Watch your speed.
Watch your speed. What coming into into the areas, into the neighborhoods.
And good luck to all the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
best of luck to the returning students and the new students. And also next Friday is the home opener, John Jay at Sommers at Sommers High School.
No,
7 o'clock.
I think it's at John Jay.
Patty's telling me it's at Sommers, but
Patty?
sorry, Patty DiBattio.
I thought it was away.
I mean,
I thought our first home game was Mayapack like the following week, but
Okay.
I'm
took a
not sure.
snapshot of it.
It's Eastchester, but it used to be right there first.
Go to the website.
Go to the website.
Stay
It's out
tuned.
there.
Or if you drive down 100,
That's
avoid
at the-
the potholes,
avoid-
look at the sign that's up at the gas station.
Correct. Anybody else?
Oh,
No, so that's it. I'd like to make a motion to conclude tonight's meeting.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
So